I was in a fire, and this is my story. My husband and I were newlyweds. We just moved into a new apartment, settling in, and I was experimenting in the kitchen with new recipes. I had a great idea one night to make deep fried chicken for dinner. This is an example of the correct way of making deep fried chicken, but I didn't have any of those cooking utensils, nor a thermometer. I took a little pot, filled it halfway with oil, put it on high heat, and closed the glass cover on it. I watched the oil through the glass cover, but since it was not boiling, I decided to take the cover off. A fire burst out when I took off the cover. In front of me was a 2-foot flame coming out of my pot because the cooking oil overheated. I called my husband over and asked him what to do since I was using my 2 hands to hold the pot by the handle. Our first thought was to turn on the kitchen sink and put the pot into the sink under running water. While I had a flaming pot of fire in my hands, I was also trying to remember if it was okay to put burning oil under water. But the heat was getting closer to my hands, and I definitely did not want to keep walking around with a huge flame inches away from my hands. We turned on the water in the kitchen sink, and I shoved the pot underneath while I instinctively ran away once I threw the pot in. Turns out that since water and oil don't mix, when you dump water on a grease fire, it will explode. The fire exploded out of the sink, climbed up on one wall, and then ran across the ceiling and down the other wall. Scientifically, when the water goes into burning oil, it goes from a liquid to a gas in less than a second. As the water goes from a liquid state to a gas state, the water vapor molecules leave the pan as fast as possible, and as they do that, they take the grease with them. It physically flings the grease out of the pan and shoots fire everywhere. There was fire all around me, so I ran to the door, but it was locked. My husband and I frantically tried to open the door, but we seemed to be unable to unlock it. And suddenly, I realized, this might be it. This might be the end. As if I was ready to give up, but with the last words out of my mouth, I yelled out to God with the words, "Be merciful." And in that instant, the door flew open, and we ran out with a cloud of billowing smoke behind us. The fire instantly disappeared, and all just was left was thick smoke. And there we were, outside, under the night sky. We did not have any burns. We didn't have any strand of hair singed. It was so quiet. It was so peaceful, as if nothing just happened. And through that terror, we realized God is great, and our survival was a miracle.
When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. For I am the Lord thy God, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior.
The immediate consequence was that we had to fix up our apartment, but the long-term consequence was that I had ongoing hesitance with anything to do with deep frying. I was gifted a deep fryer about a year ago, so I finally decided to try it out to make my favorite dessert, fried Oreos. The recipe is pretty simple. Have 1.5 cups of pancake mix, 1 large egg, 1 cup of milk, and Oreos to go. And you put it in a deep fryer, and they are so delicious fresh. I wanted to end this video on a more positive note, thus the fried Oreos, but if you want to see more of these type of videos about stories about my life, just let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Thank you.